After that night, things were not the same. I tried to convince myself, but it was just my mind playing tricks, but the feeling never left. It felt like I was being watched, always. A few weeks later, I was walking back from the market with my friend, Kofi. It was a bright sunny day, and I felt safer in the daylight. But still, something about the air felt strange, heavy, like the village was holding its breath. As we neared the edge of the village, Kofi suddenly asked if I'd heard about the old woman who lived near the forest. I hadn't. He told me she had gone missing 3 days ago. No one knew where she had gone. I tried to brush it off, but a part of me felt it was connected to the silent wanderer. I didn't want to think about it, but the memory of that night kept creeping back. We walked in silence, until Kofi suddenly stopped and pointed down the road. "Do you see that?" he asked, his voice quiet. At first, I didn't see anything. But then, at the far end of the path, I saw it. A figure, standing still. It was far away, too distant to see clearly, but I knew the feeling instantly. The same presence. My heart raced. "Kofi, we need to go," I whispered, grabbing his arm. But Kofi didn't move. His eyes were locked on the figure. "Do you know who that is?" he asked, still staring. "No," I lied, "let's go." But Kofi ignored me and started walking toward the figure. I tried to pull him back, but he was stronger. "Kofi, please. We have to leave," I begged. He didn't listen. He kept walking. I stayed frozen, too scared to follow him. The figure didn't move, just stood there, waiting. As Kofi got closer, the air around us changed. The wind stopped, and everything went quiet. Not peaceful quiet, but the kind that makes your skin crawl. It felt wrong. "Kofi!" I shouted, but he didn't respond. He was almost close enough to touch the figure when it happened. The figure raised its hand slowly, deliberately. Kofi stopped, his body stiffened, as if he had been frozen in place. Then I heard it. That same voice I had heard the night I saw the wanderer, "You don't belong here." I felt my blood freeze. Kofi slowly turned to look at me, his face blank, eyes wide with terror. He opened his mouth to speak, but no sound came out. And just like that, the figure disappeared. Kofi collapsed to the ground, unconscious. I ran to him, shaking him, calling his name, but he wouldn't wake up. I screamed for help, and soon, people arrived. We took him to the healer, but Kofi never spoke again. He's still alive, but he hasn't said a word since that day. He just sits there, staring off into the distance, like he's seen something no one else can understand. I never told anyone what happened. No one would believe me. But I can't shake the feeling that Kofi saw what I saw that night. Maybe the silent wanderer came for him too. And sometimes, late at night, when the wind blows just right, I can still hear those footsteps closer.